Hello there! In this building behind me is the Union Mine. And back in the 1800s, this was the largest silver mine in California. I'm about to go 700 feet down into the mine and spend the next 48 hours living there. I'll have no way out, so I'm bringing some rather interesting things with me. Let me explain more. So the only way to get down to the 700-foot level is to use this cage from the 1800s. And once it lets me down there, it's gonna come back up and there'll be no way out. Might sound a little scary, but I'm actually very much looking forward to it. Now, the only way to get to the 700-foot level of the mine is to use this hoist from the 1800s. Basically, this 100-year-old cable will slowly lower that cage over there down 700 feet. Once I'm down there, I'll get off my gear and this cage will come back to the surface, so I'll have no way to get out of the mine for 2 days straight. All right, so to officially start this thing, I'm gonna press start, and it's about 6:25 p.m. And so I'll be back up here in 48 hours. All right, send me down.
All right, send her down.
Copy that, going down. See you in 48 hours.
All right, and we're off. Just to confirm, we're 1:51 in, because it took a little bit to get hooked up, but I'm officially descending 700 feet down into the Union Mine, where I will remain for the next 48 hours. A little bit of butterflies, can't deny it. You know, the fact that I'm gonna be 700 feet underground for 48 hours with no cell service and no real way to get out is intriguing, is the word that we'll say. This right below me is the 550 level. That means that I am getting, ooh, that didn't feel good. So that means that I'm getting closer. The 550 level is another just enormous level that I've explored before. You can see I even left water there last time. All right, stop it. Stop the hoist. You're there. Stop the hoist. Stop. And just like that, a smooth 29 minutes into this expedition, I'm here. So I made it down to the 700-foot level. That's going to be my home for the next 48 hours. And so far you might be thinking, hey, this is going to be the survival video where Brent goes down there, tries to survive for 48 hours. And that is where this video is going to take a little bit of a twist. I'm not coming down here just to survive. I'm coming down here to thrive. I'm coming down here to have a vacation. In these boxes behind me, I have everything I can do to pamper myself as much as possible for the next 48 hours. We're gonna create a luxury suite. We're gonna create a place more luxurious than any other place at Cerro Gordo right now. Hey, you know what? I might even have a waterfront cabana, which isn't possible anywhere else in Cerro Gordo. So let's unpack this stuff, start unboxing. I'm gonna make up my little suite. We're gonna do some adventures. We're gonna do all sorts of stuff. Already some poor planning was these doors open in, not out. And we packed it from that way in. So I basically locked myself in. And as I was getting stuff out, I did lose a number of things that dropped 200 feet down to the 900 level. The boys are gonna bring up the hoist and I'm not gonna see it again for 2 days. And I'm gonna start sorting through this stuff. So I think that's about it. I dropped some stuff down the hole. I don't know where it is. I don't know if I'll get it back. Maybe I'll rappel down tomorrow. I don't really want to rappel 200 feet by myself. I think the next move is to find a place to set up the bed. If we're gonna make a luxury suite, it's important. I think my first instinct is over by the waterfront cabana sounds pretty nice. But let's take a little wander around our domain. I gotta say, already a bit eerie being down here. You know, the excitement of coming down the hoist is gone, and the reality that I have 48 hours down here. It's a bit weird. Any sound that you hear, kind of, your mind plays a little bit of tricks on you. All right, so this is what we'll be working with if we go with the sump. Now, benefit, across here, this is a little bit wider, you know, and we could set it up here, kind of have that vibe as the view. So I'm thinking this might be the move. I'm excited. You know, I'm not just saying this to say it. I just love being down in the mines. You know, it's been a pretty stressful few months. You know, sometimes I feel guilty or anxious being down here for 2 days and not working on the town. But I've been working on the town 12 hours a day for the last 6 months, plus trying to keep up with the videos and my day job and all that. It's been really overwhelming, and so I am not kidding when I say I was very much looking forward to this. Just coming down here, having fun, you know, relaxing, and truly just unplugging a little bit. Just as a time check, I am 2 hours and 46 minutes into it. It's about 9:11 right now. So I think next move is to figure out how to make a little bit of dinner. That should do it. We got the mashed potatoes to go with the steak and shrimp. We're living now. This is fun. I'm actually having a great time. I think now that I'm a little bit more settled, the relaxation's happening. I'm gonna eat really big tonight because tomorrow I'm gonna go on the longest mine exploration of my life. This is smelling awesome. This is probably sadly gonna be the best meal I've had in months. This is the type of meal you need if you're about to go mine exploring. Shoot, I might go mine exploring tonight. You know, drinking off of these. Anything's possible. What better way to finish off a meal than a little bit of ice cream? When I knew I was taking a vacation down to the 700-foot level, ice cream was the first thing I brought. Actually, I broke into a little bit earlier, but I'm really living today. Right at the edge of the water, you know. Pool views. Don't worry. I'll take off my shoes, Mom. Whew. All right. Robes on. Relaxation chair is out. I'm gonna relax for a little bit. Probably call it a night here. But stay tuned, because tomorrow is when all the action starts. Tomorrow is when the mine explorations begin. The decorating of the suite begins. I know tonight we just got the bed and the mattress up. That was just step one. I got 44 more hours down here to make this thing look amazing. And that's what I'm gonna do tomorrow. All right, so as I go to bed night one, it's 11:25 upstairs. I've been here for exactly 5 hours right now. 39 hours to go. Well, sleeping hasn't come quite yet. It's now just past midnight. But you know, got the water right there. So maybe if I can't sleep, then I'll go water skiing or something. But 6 hours has passed. It's about 7:30, which means I've been on here for 13 hours. I gotta say, sleep wasn't bad. I was able to forget about these hanging rocks right above me and sleep for a little bit. It is cold. What I keep thinking is if I wait long enough, then the sun will come up and it'll be much easier to film because I don't have to use these lights everywhere. And then you realize it's the exact same all the time down here. The lighting never changes. You can forget what day it is. It's a bit cold. Got definitely colder overnight, which I can't remember happening before. But I think the plan today to get myself out of this bed, you know, it is my vacation. I can take my time. Then I'm going to make breakfast. Then do a little bit of mind exploration. The unfortunate news this morning is that one of the things that went over the edge of the cage was my coffee pot. And so I have the coffee maker, I just don't have the pot to make the coffee. Cheers to a good day, a big mind exploration day, and treasures to be found. So the last time I was in here, we were working on the pump, and I only had 30 minutes to explore. But I remember it was probably the most amount of stuff I'd seen in the Union Mine anywhere in only that 30 minutes. And I always had plans to come back with a bunch of time. And so today's that day. So this is weird. So I was walking from this way where the hoist is, but this shows the exit going that way. And the only thing that would be going towards is the Union chimney. And that's the ore body that goes from the surface all the way down past the 900 level. And if that's the case, that would be a massive hole that would go to every single level of the mine behind any collapses. I've been looking for these chimneys for quite a while on this channel. I've never gotten to go to the very end of where this is pointing. So today we're gonna go down that way. It's toilet, 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 toilet. And all this is written with carbide. So back in the day, they didn't have bright lights like I'm using right now. They had carbide burning in a headlamp, and that ash they could make these kind of graffiti things with. And you can see they really went wild in this level. Oh no. So it appears that is where the exit is. I don't love climbing ladders when no one's around, but if you're gonna climb any old ladder, if it's inset like this, meaning they carved in and put it in, that's better than it just being nailed on the front. But you can see these nails are toast. But that's the exit they're talking about. And I just think I have to go up there. I have to see where that goes. Holy shit. This thing just keeps going. my craziest inclines I've ever seen. I'm probably up another 100 feet, so I imagine this goes all the way to the 550 level. As you can see, the ladder's out from here. We must be on a sub-level, or maybe all the way up to 550 already. Holy shit, look! That means I just climbed from the 700 up to the 550, which is crazy. I've been on the 550 before, but I've never been able to get back in this portion because it must be behind some collapse or something, but 550. One of my favorite things in these mines is to go in between the levels without having to use the hoist. Because if I can get to the 550, oh my God, I forgot this. I know of a ladder from the 550 to the 400. So I could theoretically now get to the 400. And if I can find some type of ladder up, I may be able to get out of the mine without using the hoist at all, which has been a goal of mine for a very long time. Seems the only way up is to continue up this chute, but this ladder is just toast. Holy shit. This is an old drill bit. Buttons. All right, this way doesn't look like to be it. My light's running out of battery, but there's a lot of branches off of this way up. So I'm gonna go back to home base, charge up my batteries, and come back over here. All right, before we go all the way back, I'm gonna take a little adventure down the right over here, see if there's anything interesting. That connection to the 550 is super interesting. I wish I would have brought down my map like I always do to see where that's connecting, but it's connecting somewhere. And so there's so much more. It's probably 80% more of this mine to explore. Good thing I got 48 hours, but I got a little bit more energy before I need some lunch. So let's go check out this way. You know what's really gross? Is all of those signs said toilet. And now I'm back here, and there's a scrap of denim and a bunch of newspaper around some old boxes that are full up. It doesn't take too much of a detective to realize quickly that this box was the toilet. They must have pooped in it, used this newspaper or pieces of fabric around here as rags, covered it up, and now I was just digging through it. So we're gonna move on from that. Brings up a good point that I'm gonna have to create a toilet of my own here soon, being down here for 48 hours. Maybe I should make my toilet where the miners made their toilet to continue on the tradition. (1930, 1929). All right, getting back home after that mine exploration, and it's officially 11:30, which means I've been down here for 17 hours now. What is that? A little bit more than a quarter of the time I'm going to be down here. I think right now my plan is, well, one, to put this bag down. And take a breather for a second. Got some really cool rocks. This crystal thing is cool. I think this one, to commemorate this experience, I'm gonna give this away. If you want this, there's a link below, it's free. I wanna give this one to you guys. So below, if you want this rock, sign up. I will ship this to one of you. So I came back and I'm really dirty right now after the Mine Explorer, and I wanted to change. And I realized one of the bags that slipped out of the cage and fell all the way down to the 900-foot level was my bag with all my clothes. The thought of sitting here in dingy clothes for another day and a half is reason enough to break out the first cocktail of this trip. What time did I say it was? I think it's 11:30, but in the wise words of Jimmy Buffett, one of my heroes, if you will, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. I'm not a big drinker. I drink maybe once a month, but I think in a really early video I said that I drink more, or like to leave beer or something. So a lot of people bring me alcohol. So this bag right here is full of every type of liquor you can imagine. And my goal, or my hope, is to kind of build a liquor cabinet down here, or a liquor shelf. Let's be honest, not a cabinet. And I mean, cheers. Sounds like a pretty good idea to me. All right, fiesta's over. Time to make some lunch. Hours are just flying by. This 48 hours, it's gonna be easy. Here's a fun fact that a lot of people didn't know. I went to culinary school for a summer. I went to Johnson in Wales, which is a very well-known culinary school. That didn't work out. Lunch is served, a hot lunch no less. This is honestly better than I eat at Cerro Gordo almost every day. I got shrimp, I got rice-a-roni. I got creamy Caesar. This vacay is working out pretty good. I mean, I can't complain so far. All right, so lunch is done. I think it's time for a little bit of rearranging. I think at first, I wanted this bed right at the edge of the water, and I think it's still an okay idea, but what I want to do now is push this bed back almost to where the blue chair is, so then the blue chair can be the lounge area, so that way you're not running right up into the bed. Here, we shall build ourselves a bar. So we'll go scavenge some wood throughout the mine, build a little bar. After that, it's probably exploration time again. I don't know what this was originally used for. Maybe some of like call box or something, you know? Watch this. Boom! Now, is that not a cool bar? You're down in a mine. You got yourself a whole light up bar. Oh, come on, power pack. Don't do this to me now. Now this place is coming together. 23 hours and 43 minutes. It's 6:08. But let me show you what the chateau is looking like these days. A river raft right in front of the water. You have a putting green if you so choose. Flower petals. Fully stocked bar. Lounge area. Umbrella in case the rain starts falling on these rocks. Last but not least, you have a queen size bed with a robe. I mean, what else could you want? All right, look at that. Almost 24 hours. We're halfway there. I'm just hanging out right now. I'm actually having a great time. I'm looking forward to another 24 down here. I'm pumped up. I'm having a good time. This is kind of just the break I needed. Greetings! Welcome back to another evening. The 700, the finest underground dining in all of Cerro Gordo. Tonight's menu includes spaghetti, a side of some type, and let me check with the chef as far as what meat we have. Shrimp. It will be spaghetti shrimp. We need to fuel up because it is going to be a big evening. Bon appetit! Serious question. Do you think this is the first time someone has had steak and shrimp inside of a mine back to back with how many meals of shrimp I've had in a mine? And I don't know if it's the amount of time by myself, but it's very quiet back here. If I were to stop talking, you don't hear anything. But I keep hearing almost like crowd noises, like a busy restaurant noise. And it tripped me out a little bit. And then whenever you focus on listening, doesn't it make it even more creepy? It just like highlights everything around you. Anyways, I might not think about that. I might put on some music instead. Just relax. Way more comfy hanging out in the lounge eating. I can do that now. You know, I have multiple locations within my suite. I have a dining room area. I have a lounge area. I have a bar, bedroom, pool. $25 hours, almost 26 hours in. Just hanging out for a little bit. I think it's just about time for a little mine exploration. Oh yeah, break time's over. Back at it with some late night mine exploration. And exploring mines is probably my favorite thing to do in the world. You know, there's that peaceful element that nobody can get a hold of you and you're just alone down here and lost kind of in the moment. I love history, so there's always that potential, that potential to uncover something from the past, which is really exciting to me. The first thing I want to try is to uncover this. If you look up there, there's track going up there, and it looks like if I move enough rock, I might be able to get past this collapse. I don't know if it's gonna happen. These rocks are just too big individually. I thought these were pieces of rock. It's all one big rock. So I think I'll come back later with some rope, try to get some of these bigger rocks moving out of here. All right, so last time we went that way, and there's still more to explore that way, but I think right now we're after the jump. This was very intriguing to me. There's an old oil tin. These ore chutes obviously show that there's something above us. So they're basically mining above us, shooting them down here, hopefully putting them on the track. I bet that snake's around. Yeah, see it? You can pick back up the ladder. All right, this ladder isn't great, but it's better than that one, so. I think what I'm gonna do here is actually come back with my nails and hammer and actually build a longer ladder to get up there. Because I don't necessarily trust that. It's a little slippery. I need a little bit longer ladder. And I do have the materials to do that. I just gotta come back. Right this second is not the time to get injured. It's getting really wet. It's like frozen. That's so creepy. It's frozen ice. I don't like being around damp areas. That's where bad air can be. Holy cow, look at this. It's a skating rink. Ooh. All right, that ends that trip. All right, so tomorrow, plan is I gotta build those ladders for that area I just tried to scurry up. Ah, yes. Don't mind me. I'm just relaxing in the way that every miner does after a long day in the Union mine. With a face mask, even though it's freezing, and a massage gun. Ah, that's nice. There's a lot of exploring today and even more exploring tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm going to the very bottom of the mine, to the 900-foot level to retrieve my stuff. We're going to be building a ladder. We're going to be pulling rocks behind me. And if you look, I've officially been down here 29 hours and 26 minutes. So that means tomorrow's the home stretch. I'm looking forward to it. Until then, I'm just going to zone out and try to relax for tomorrow. So good night. Okay, final breakfast down at the 700. Probably a good thing, my white tablecloth is getting a bit dirty and grimy. And this morning, I think what I'm gonna make, eggs! Surprise, surprise. But let's see what else we got. Let's try to make a little breakfast turkey, bread. Yeah, that's gonna be it. So I've been down here now for 38 hours and 43 minutes straight. And the only light I've seen is all this artificial light. But I'm still going to bed around the same time, waking up around the same time, doing the same my energy feels about the same throughout the day. And I think that's a couple things. One, you're kind of like in that rhythm, circadian rhythm or whatever it's called. And then two, I'm looking at my phone so much because part of this premise is spending 48 hours down here. But I wonder, like, if I were to bring down enough food for a month or 6 months, so let's say theoretically I bring down enough food for 6 months, I bring down vitamin D pills to not die, and I don't have a clock at all. There's no clock available. I wonder in 6 months if I would still be waking up and going to bed at the same time. Meaning, like, is it driven by the sun or is it driven by just like my nature at this point, I don't know. It's interesting. Time is an interesting thing generally too. Like, if I was down here for 6 years, would the concept of time even exist anymore? Like, we made up time, and so it's like a construct that we created. And so, like, before time, how was anything measured, or wasn't it measured? Was it just measured by events? Meaning, like, oh, that happened, that. Like, sunrise, sunset, sure, that's still kind of time-ish, but maybe not. Now we see it as time, but there was a point when there wasn't time. I mean, there was. I think I've been down here. I think I've been down in this mine for too long. But you know what I'm saying? There was a point when we would say there's time, but they, if they were living then, wouldn't say there's time because there wasn't time. Time didn't exist. That wasn't a thing. You just lived. And so I'm saying down here, over a long enough period of time, would you get to the point where time didn't exist? It was just events. Like, I don't know. Would I even want the same food for breakfast? Would I even know what breakfast is? I guess I would understand that when I woke up, that would generally be breakfast as I would know it. But, like, when I wake up, what if I start waking up at 6 p.m.? Would I suddenly want ravioli? Or is it like the nature of waking up is like the ritualistic element of it? And, like, how long would that take to go away? All great questions. Thought we might get there, but I didn't know we were going to get there this early. I still have... What did I just say?
What's with my watch? For time.
I still have... No, I still have 10 hours left. All right, breakfast is done. I think next on the agenda is I'm gonna go down to the 900-foot level and retrieve whatever fell down. It's gonna be a little scary. I'm gonna have to climb down 200 feet. As I started going down the ladder, I pulled up on the loose end of the rope, and I could feel it just swinging around like a rope does when it's not on the ground at all. So I realized that the rope wasn't on the ground at the 900-foot level, so it wasn't anywhere close to long enough. So I came back up, sat over there, pulled in about 44 arm lengths worth of rope. So if you do the rough math, let's say it's 3 feet long, that's probably about 120 feet of rope, which is 80 feet short of 200, so it was never going to happen. My long rope is one of the bags that fell over there, so I'll have to go back down a different day. If you're interested in the 900-foot level, I just did a massive exploration of it. Look for the video called Getting a 5-Ton Truck from my Ghost Town. That goes all the way down to the 900-foot level. Stuff down there is going to have to wait till another day, and for now, let's continue our exploring. All right, so we're back to the chute that was at yesterday, and you can see a rope. It goes up, but it's just a little slippery right at the top. It looks like to be a ledge, and then it might be a whole nother level up there. Imagine I get some wood, some long planks, and nail these two together. It might get me far enough up that thing that I can go. Well, that was a bust, unfortunately. You can see they kept drilling up, trying to find a vein. They even left one of their drill bits in the wall, which you can see how long it is. So, at least I know. For me, it's like, had I not come up here, it would have haunted my mind for weeks. So now I know that I don't need to come back up here. And you just keep checking them off, and eventually you've explored the whole place. So my goal over the last year and a half is just to explore every single inch of the Union Mine. That way if somebody says, hey, in a history book, if they say, hey, in the southwest corner of the 700-foot level, I know exactly what they're talking about. And I think that part of that, there's an old drill bit. So this is an old drill bit. This is a little bit newer one because it's detachable. Remember before we saw the one that was attached to the pole? So this would go into the rock, drill the hole for the dynamite, and because it was removable, they could then be sharpened. You can see this one's been sharpened recently, and the reason it has a hole in it, it's the reason it has a hole in the middle is because about, a decent number of years into drilling in, they realized that the dust that was creating was killing all the miners. So they put a hole in the middle, and the hole was for water. So as this was drilling in, water was shooting out, and water really helps control the dust. Now, it's said in some mines that the water made them so cold they died of pneumonia, but at least they weren't dying of the dust. So that is part of Cerro history. And so my goal is eventually just to say, yes, I've explored every level of every part of the Union Mine. And I think right now, the best chance at the 700-foot level that we have is probably back behind the bed, behind the suite, where those rocks are blocking it. I can see through it. I just need to move one or two of those big rocks. And so I think I'm gonna go back. I need to eat lunch. I'm getting a little bit lightheaded. Let's make our way back to camp. Whew. All right, it's lunchtime, final day. Well, obviously we're gonna do shrimp. We got shrimp, and we're gonna do couscous, do a little healthy. I think a side of mini ravioli to be really unhealthy. I mean, look at that. These meals have been on point. So the final meal, that looks pretty dang good. Look, you can see if I could just get past this rock, if either of these two would move. There's so much more mine to explore. You can see timbering here. It's just these rocks are not moving. And by myself, I don't know if I can get them to move. I'm gonna keep pulling for another 20 minutes or so. I can't even pull it out my elbow. But damn, that would be nice. If I can move that one rock, it almost looks like the world would open up. 2 hours left, and I don't think this rock is going to get out of there, unfortunately for me. I'm going to need more tools and more people, but I know that's what leads to the Jefferson chimney. Just a quick little recharge. A little ice cream, you know. Relax. Still frozen. 2 days later. Sounds are getting a little weird. So here are these kind of like crowds. I wonder if it's like a phenomenon. Maybe I can look it up when I get home, but it sounds like there's crowds around even though there's not. And the more you focus on it, the more you hear it. Or I'm just going crazy. That's possible, being down here for over 40 hours now. How do I get my drink? Thought I'd never see the day. But I was just lounging here in the pool at Cerro Gordo. Thought it would take much longer than this to be able to enjoy some frozen drinks in the pool. Goodbye, my home away from home. It's been a real 48 hours. And as they say, that's it and that's all, folks. Headed back to civilization.